Beaufort, South Carolina is a small southern military town. But this place has arisen from a geo-history of pirates and Spanish explorers, and hurricanes and islands that extinguishes stereotypes. The lack of cliches here is important for residents, and that also makes this town a writer's place. There's a reason MILSPEAK is happening under the specter of Pat Conroy and his citadel and his booth, with views of dolphins and kayakers splashing in salt marshes, filled with invasive but yummy one-pound tiger shrimps, and with the many resident characters who populate Beaufort, including the best-selling novelist who answered my knock at her door wearing no pants at all. A slowed-down, low-country place like this gesting stories. The Civil War is still visible here. The 20 or so grand homes in the downtown Beaufort historic district were commandeered for generals such as Sherman, for visits from Clara Barton and Harriet Tubman, considered by some to be the only American woman to lead a military attack, and for hospitals for soldiers. A few private walls in town have been preserved to show off the soldiers' healing time graffiti, which is a lovely visual patois of old-timey script and pornography. He's a pork-belly thief and a son of a bitch.
Daddy started having more frequent doctor visits. I started working 2 jobs to make ends meet. My sister takes him back and forth. I realized how sick Daddy is during an early morning scheduled surgery when the doctor briefs the family. My head in a fog when the doctor looks at me and says,
"You know, your father has cancer."
No, I didn't know. I was shocked, angry at my sister for not telling me. How come she did not tell me the extent of my daddy's illness? I feel like a fool, stupid, left out, knowing how much I love my mom and dad, knowing they were always there for me, and I always wanted to be there for them. From that moment, I knew I would always have to stay by my parents' side, no matter what. The healthy, strong man, his body shape began to change. One leg became real large as the fluid builds up, and his pants leg tightened around his thigh, while the other pants leg remains loose-fitting. His neck becomes swollen as my heart ached to take away his discomfort, as he has done for me over and over, reassuring me that whatever happens in life,
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
I prayed for my father's healing like I never prayed before, until one day, God answered my prayer. I dreamed I asked God to heal Daddy, and in the dream, the voice said,
"No, your father will die."
I wake up crying because the voice was spoken by one of authority with complete blessed assurance. My life felt like I was constantly running on rollerblades. Between running to the hospital, working, sleepless nights, running home when Mama called frantic to help get Daddy up when in his weakness he fell, and I vowed not to give up even to the end. I thank God for Mr. Buster, Cousin Greene, and Reverend Hamilton, who really went beyond the call of duty by helping my mother, sister, and me take Dad to his early morning treatment to Savannah for radiation treatment and other medical appointments. Dad, he must have saw the helplessness I felt, and Daddy, looking up from his chair, said,
Honey, you've done all you could do, and don't worry, God will bless you.
Then Daddy finally gave in to Mama's request to go to the VA hospital. After being there for about 2 weeks, he was scheduled for a minor surgery.
Morning, Monday morning, 31 January, 1989.
I sat at my desk. A warm feeling engulfed me like a hug at 9 a.m. I smelled Daddy's masculine scent, and I break down and cry. My coworker Lee came and embraced me with a hug and said,
"Yvonne, go to your daddy."
About 20 minutes later, my sister called and said the hospital said to get there right away. Hurriedly picked up the kids from school, hurriedly drove to Charleston VA Hospital. Every day we went, and the parking lot was so full, we usually had to drive around in circles or sit in the car while idling and waited for a spot. got there, and the spot was waiting for us. I looked at my sister and said,
This is very unusual.